So our augmented map is really about thinking in a contemporary way about how to bring together lots of digital content, but in a way that's actually, a physical object, an object that can sit within a community context and can draw people in to experience the kind of creative acts that young people have done in their communication processes. But the idea of the map and the tapestry is a great kind of navigation tool. I mean, of course, we use maps to navigate a place, and what a map does is, really familiarise the context of debate. I know where I am within this map from a geographic perspective. But equally, it becomes a kind of navigation tool in the same way that a website does. So by positioning the augmented triggers and so on onto the map, what you're able to do is to both position the ideas geographically, but allow people to navigate those ideas in quite a helpful and constructive way.
The great thing about the technology that's been chosen as well is that they're adding a bit of excitement to the way the information is being presented. So particularly using auras with the map.
The augmented map becomes almost, the tapestry of the village, something that people can see as an artefact and a totem of the whole process of planning.
I think people will want to look at it, so therefore that information is going to be much more likely to be shared.
The technology provides a beautiful way into forming an interaction between what is a static map process into moving image, beautifully presented, seamlessly connecting their opinions and that place in a way that's really, really engaging and interactive and fun to create in the first place.
It's a lot of it comes down to you produce a big document, you get a big document put in front of you. The bit you read is the summary and the conclusion, and then you decide whether or not you're going to read the bits in the middle. Now, if you start looking at something, you are more likely to sit in front of your TV screen and watch something, which is why politics is done in sound bites. It's why advertisers, companies use it.
And the augmented map can become, I think, a kind of central community artefact. Community plans are often criticised for being, based around surveys and documents which tend to then sit up on a parish council shelf gathering dust. How people access that, how people are able to reflect upon the process of planning, what are the outcomes and the outputs of a planning process.
For me, that is the way forward. If you say a survey, I always say, there is a saying that pictures carries 1,000 words. Pictures tell more. How much more videos? If I am somebody, if I have to provide or give a grant to two different communities, and one community comes with me with a report of a survey findings of what the community issues are, and another community produces a video where everyone is talking about, I want this, we want this, I'm more drawn to the community that has produced a video because I can see them, I can hear them speak, I can even feel the actual need in their voice.
Very direct form of communication. I think we did look at gamification and using GPS games and using RS, but it was just a little bit more complicated. I think the thing about auras is they're just so immediate, and you can sort of access them direct.
So suddenly it's drawing people in and they're beginning to listen to what's being said. Because it's something that can be displayed, because it is something that invites people to come and have a look. It's a way of engaging with other audiences as well. Other people start expressing their opinion on it. Mums, dads, grandparents, other members of the community. They're being drawn into a process that perhaps otherwise they wouldn't be, because they've come to have a look at what else is on show, as well as then listening to what other people are saying, who it then turns out are much younger members of the community and perhaps had something worthwhile to say to start off with.
Acceptance of the fact that technology is ubiquitous in certain age groups and certain categories of profiles of a community, but equally by making it a kind of physical, experiential thing, what it does is it brings people together.
There's something in group work that's called production blocking, where people, they have something to say, but because it's part of a group work that they forget it, or they have to wait until someone else has spoken and then their idea might not be relevant, or they just get embarrassed about saying it, or because it'll take so long, they completely forget it anyway. And the benefit of using the maps was that it bypassed all that. If it's online, people don't have to use them at the same time. They can just, when they have a thought, go to it, add it on, and what anyone else says doesn't really affect it. But also in the group work, they can all pin their ideas on at the same time.
There are digital ways in which that same information can be accessed by decision makers, and that isn't just about a written report. And we really have to, as an organisation, as Action in Rural Sussex, be an advocate for this new type of community engagement, because that's the future.
I think there is a certain amount of that you look at everything and you go, wow, that looks pretty, isn't that clever? But I also think that there's so much stuff that comes through to it that actually tells a story. There's something there where the animations that are coming across, the words that are being said, the things that are being developed and explored, the information that's coming out demonstrates what you can get from it. It's not just about what's being presented. So much kind of such a better quality, so much more detail, it's evidenced that you just wouldn't get from sending around a survey.